Hello and welcome to the ScatterVolt channel, and today I'm going to show you guys how to build the ultimate Micro ATX gaming PC. Just because you want to build one of the fastest gaming computers you can on the market doesn't mean it has to be enormous. And I think having something small and compact like this in a Micro ATX case like the AP201 is much more realistic, and you don't have to compromise much to build in it. So this is the smart way, I think, to build a high-end gaming PC in 2023, and I understand a lot of you who are watching this video may be tuned out because you obviously can't afford to build anything like this, but you can still build something that isn't this expensive in this case. So hopefully I give you guys some ideas in this build guide, and once again, gonna be the same thing. I'm gonna show you how to set it up, get Windows installed, show off its gaming performance, but this video is gonna be a little more free-form since, again, it's not gonna be a traditional build guide. Still though, I hope you enjoy it, and once again, links to all of the PC parts I use can be found in the description below. All right, so just to show you guys where I'm headed with this PC build, again, I have the i9-14900K. Technically, you'll soon see we actually have a 13900KS, but let's be real, they're the exact same CPU. I've just got the box for the 14900K, so that's what I'm using, but this is the main reason why this Micro ATX PC build is going to work, and that is this Galax Edition RTX 4090 that comes with its own 360mm AIO. And why this is a smart choice, and I'm still including the i9 in this build, is the 4090 is going to be water cooled, and we're going to fit the radiator here on the top. And then we're going to air cool the i9, which sounds really weird, but if you do an actual proper undervolt on this i9 processor, it will run less hot and it will be more cool and efficient. And that's how we can get around that, because we're gonna be cooling it off with a Deepcool Assassin 4 in white. And this is gonna be enough for that i9 processor. Yeah, sure, we aren't gonna be able to overclock it, but why would you wanna overclock an i9 in the first place if it already goes up to like 6 gigahertz stock? So for the motherboard we're going to use to house this i9 processor in, we're actually going with the B760M Mortar Wi-Fi. Now, like I said, we're not going to be overclocking the i9 in this build, so we don't need a Z970 motherboard or Z790. But really, we just need a solid Micro ATX motherboard that's going to fit with the overall white theme of this build. And I think this Mag Edition Micro ATX motherboard will work just fine, especially with that white 4090 AIO. But also, I think this is the one Micro ATX B760 motherboard that has two 8-pin CPU power connectors, which is preferably probably what you want with that i9 processor at the end of the day. So that's why we're going with it. Like I said, we're technically installing an i9 14900K. It's just mislabeled as the 13900KS. It's my old CPU, so that's why we're using it. And like usual, I'm gonna go ahead and open up this bracket, open this up, take this i9, line it up with the triangle here on the socket. I'm just gonna drop it in, press this up, close it down, boom. Okay, now for the RAM, we have something really special. This is easily the most classy way I can think of presenting RAM. Remove that, there we go. We have Corsair's new Dominator Titanium DDR5 RAM. I got shown this at Computex, and this is definitely the best DDR5 RAM on the market, because not only does it look the part and the performance is going to be there, but through Corsair's own software, you can set custom XMP profiles without having to enter your BIOS. And that, I think, could be really cool. Very much enthusiast grade DDR5 RAM if you're looking for the absolute best of the best. You can even 3D print your own heat sinks, which, if we bust this open, I think we've got some custom heat sinks. Look at that, just straight metal. Oh wow, Corsair. Yeah, look at that. But wow, Corsair, what a presentation for your RAM. Which, in addition to the Dominator Platinum, we are going with a 4TB Corsair MP600 Pro NH. Now, 4TB is definitely overkill for an M.2 SSD. I wanted to request one, and that's why we're going with it. But for a boot drive, you really don't need any more than 2 TB. But I ultimately know where this PC is gonna end up, and I would like 4 TB for an M.2 SSD. So let's go ahead and install this. Here's our MP600 Pro NH, which we would actually install in here, but I'm actually gonna put this right here. Okay, let me give you a little update. So we found out that with this motherboard, CPU, and especially the Dominator titanium RAM, will indeed fit the Deepcool Assassin 4 that we've got planned for this build. So that's epic. So this really high Dominator RAM is not gonna get in the way, which is perfect. But we're gonna wait to install that until the very end, which is why we have the CPU bracket kind of just chilling right here on the motherboard, because this is how the build process is gonna work from here on out. So I went ahead and did some work on the PC case in advance. I put in 3 Deepcool case fans because might as well take care of that now before we put everything else into this PC case. And we've got actually a good old hard drive in this build because, like I said, I have plans for this build and a hard drive is included in them. And once again, is one of the awesome reasons why the AP201 is such a great PC case. We got just one spot for a hard drive, which is just perfect for this PC. So from here on out, we're gonna go ahead and put in the motherboard, and then we're gonna hook up all the front I/O for the motherboard, and then we're gonna insert that Galax RTX 4090 water-cooled graphics card. And once that's in there, along with its 360mm radiator, then once we unscrew this, we can put in the SFX power supply, tie everything up together, and hopefully turn on this computer. We've got all the standoffs already in the AP201, which is super cool, which means we can just drop in this motherboard. All right. So real quick, before we really kick things into gear, I do want to quickly highlight the power supply we're using for this build, which is the Corsair SF100L. This is an SFX-L form factor power supply, which I believe will work in the AP201. And wattage-wise, all we need is $1,000. 1,000 watts, my bad. That will be enough for the 4090 and the i9, even if we wanted to overclock it, which there's no need to. And it's small enough to fit in the AP201. It's fully modular, and I wanna highlight it now because before we plug in that 4090 with a water cooler, I think it'd be smart to go ahead and plug in the 2 8-pin CPU power connectors for our motherboard before we have the radiator right here take everything up. So I'm gonna go ahead and unbox this, show you guys what it's gonna be like. And let's see how small this is. Oh yeah, look at this. I love SFX power supplies. Look at how tiny this guy is. Oh, what a neat little power supply from Corsair. I'm excited to use this in the build. And like I said, it's pretty much gonna be like this. It's gonna be chilling here at the front, out of the way of the graphics card and everything else, with the fan side facing outside the AP201, because remember, the front is mesh. So once again, excellent case design, and it's perfect to pair up this with this PC case. Okay, now on to the main feature of the build. This again is the Galax RTX 4090 all-in-one water cooling edition. And this is Galax, I believe, only all-in-one water cooler RTX 40 GPU they've released so far this generation. Hold up, I wanna be really careful with this box because it's so cool looking. I don't wanna rip anything by accident. I have been spoiled with the presentation with some of these PC parts so far this build, and I guarantee you this is gonna blow everything else away. We have a big Geforce RTX logo right here. And what if we open this up? We get nothing. No, just kidding. Okay, cool, got a sample test. Oh, so this GPU has already been benchmarked, already been tested. Really cool. And let's see, we have a Galax setup card, how to install this, and there it is. So there are some advantages to having a water-cooled GPU, especially at this price range. We all know the RTX 4090 can be very big, the coolers can get massive, but here in a water-cooled solution, it's a lot more compact, and you can actually run this thing harder because it keeps it cooler. You could say, you know, 3 120mm fans, maybe overkill, and a 360mm radiator for a 4090, but I think that just ensures that this is going to run cooler and quieter than a standard aftermarket 4090, but also this just looks way cooler. And like I said, this is going to fit in the AP201. Let me carefully take this out. Here's the GPU. Yeah, that's definitely a water-cooled 4090. Let's unsheath this. Here is your radiator. And here is your GPU. I've never been nervous to ever put in PC parts into a PC build, except for this moment right here. Oh, I've never done this before, and I hope all my math works out. We're gonna put this like this. Let's see, that's gonna go, right? Yep, that is gonna go. Let me go ahead and one-hand this like a boss. Oh yeah. Look at these pro skills right here. Uh-huh. And then let's get another one. Put this right here. Ooh. Okay, so like I said, we played with the computer and this is what we found is gonna work best. So we have the AIO oriented in this direction with the cables on the right side of the PC case. And what we did is one of the advantages of using an SFX in the AP201 is you don't have to use this pre-included bracket. You can literally zip tie your power supply onto the PC case. And if you look right here in the front, it's on there. We have everything here tied down onto the power supply. I mean, you can move it around a little bit left to right, but it's not gonna move vertically. And once again, one of the coolest reasons why the 4090 EIO makes so much sense in this PC is that the length of the graphics card isn't going to touch the power supply. Whereas in my previous AP201 build with an air-cooled 4090, that had some very fine margins between the power supply and the graphics card. Whereas here, we don't have to worry about any clearance issues at all. And like was promised from Amazon, our little pressure plate for the LGA 1700 socket did come in. So we're gonna go ahead and install this onto the i9, and then we're gonna put our Deepcool Assassin 4 onto the CPU to finish things off, and we will technically be ready to boot up this computer. Just we need a special adapter for the power supply plug-in here, which we will need to order once again through Amazon. But for the moment, we can at least test and see if this computer boots up. Let's see what happens. Okay. RAM is lit up, fans have lit up. AIO, I think, is going. We have okay, we got a light. Yes, we did it. The system works. I'm gonna go ahead and set it up, and I really wanna show you guys its gaming performance. So real quick, before we get into the gameplay section of this video, I do wanna highlight some of the Galax products I'm using for this, like the Galax Hall of Fame Maestro gaming headset and the Galax Hall of Fame Ace M2 wireless gaming mouse. And I could just get into the specifications of each gaming peripheral, but I want to let the gameplay speak for itself, which, by the way, you're listening to the microphone from the headset for this gameplay segment. And I need to know how fast CS2 is on this water-cooled RTX 4090 and i9 14900K. On Deeg, maybe? Also, I've yet to apply my CSGO skin to CS2. Oh, yes! Oh, nope. I didn't hit him at all. Terrible. So for the Gamdius Ace M2 mouse, I've got the DPI set to 400. That's what I like for CS2. It's wireless, so I don't feel contrived at all with the cable. It's pretty free. Oh yeah, and we can flick this. Okay. Can we get this guy who's... Yes, we can. Okay, that was pretty nice. Easy. You know, I might go op next round, and, or next time I die. Yep, like that, and, everyone's shooting ops now. I'm gonna go op. Let's see how this mouse can do. There's a guy above me, I can hear him. Show yourself, come on. Come down here. Yep, come on. I can hear him. Got one. I'll take it. One thing cool I do want to point out, though, is that the Ace M2 has toggleable refresh rate on the mouse itself. So if you are not in-game and you want to, say, reduce the polling rate to like 125 or 250, you can do that on the mouse itself and not have to do it in software, which is kind of neat. you know, we'll go dualies. I think we'll run this because, I mean, I've had to comment nothing at all on the performance of this system. It is a water-cooled RTX 4090 and an i9. And I can't wait to try out this next game as well. So we're going to end out CS2 with one more kill. Yes. All right. Oh, wait. Another one? Yes. All right. Wait, another one? Nope. Ah. Hey. All right. One more game. Okay, so we are trying out Alan Wake 2, and this is a very appropriate game to try out on specifically this computer with that water-cooled Galax RTX 4090 because it has taken down some of the most powerful systems in existence. And we are running this game right now full-blown at 4K with DLSS, frame generation turned on. As you can see, all the graphics settings are toggled on to the maximum. And once again, we're at 4K. Unbelievable performance. Anyways, for more casual gaming scenarios like this, I do appreciate that the fabric on the Maestro gaming headset is a little bit plush and kind of nice. Also, I like it how it differentiates what's the left and right ear cup, if for any reason you aren't using a microphone. Now, unfortunately, in Alan Wake 2, I can't show you the FPS because they don't support in-game overlays, which is doesn't help our case for showing off how fast this gaming PC really is in AAA games like Alan Wake. But with the additional of DLSS 3.0, I guarantee you the frame rate is going to be more than good at 4K. Okay, is the game going to get crazy? Oh, look at that. Volumetric lighting right there. Alright, you know what? That guy's going to go crazy, so let's go ahead and close out the video. Alright, let's talk about this computer. Performance-wise, I have no gripes. Obviously, because it's an RTX 4090 paired with an i9 processor, albeit an RTX 4090 that is water-cooled and with a slight overclock. There should be no performance concerns whatsoever. I think the bigger question is, was it enough in a Micro ATX system, and would I personally recommend this sort of build layout to someone who's looking to build pretty much the ultimate gaming computer in a smaller footprint? Well, I'm not going to sugarcoat anything because there were some loopholes we had to get around, like with the power supply, all because of the radiator replacement for the RTX 4090. Depending on where the radiator is coming on this PC case, having the tubes and where they come out can either interfere with your power supply or like the front of your motherboard right here. And with the tubes on the RTX 4090 AIO, they are pretty stiff, not super malleable, and also that's tubing for a graphics card, not a processor. So the tubing very much is preset. So the only way it could fit is if we had the tubes coming out from this part of the PC case, meaning that we had to change how we mounted the power supply on the AP201. Also, as you can see, we have a little bit of a conundrum right here where the power supply cable is for the graphics card, because you have the tubes right there and the 12-pin power connector and an air cooler all in a very close radius, and I think everything is actually touching each other. So that is one thing. I wish maybe we have gone with a slightly smaller air cooler so we give this a little bit more space. But either way, we would have had to squish that 12-pin power connector in between the tubes for the RTX 4090 AIO. And other than that, that is just about it. Besides a power adapter we had to use for the power supply, because mounting it in a custom orientation meant we had to have kind of like a different mounting angle for the power supply cable, because just using what was provided in the case was not going to work out, so we had to get an additional adapter. But other than those three things, now we got it working, and I'm really pleased with the results. So with all that said, I want to give a thank you to Galax, Deepcool, and Corsair for helping me make this build possible, especially Galax for sending out that really awesome RTX 4090 and their Hall of Fame gaming peripherals. So if you want to check out any of the components that I used for this PC build, including those Galax components, and I'll have all of those linked in the description below if you're interested in any of them. And with all that said, I don't have much more to add to this video, so thank you so much for watching, and this is the ScatterVolt channel, signing out.